You have to have thoughts to be a thought leader.
Ooh.
But I have thoughts.
At this age?
Well, not that many. It comes and goes, but every once in a while.
A thought would be...
You're putting me on the spot right now to come up with a thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing for
Thought
you.
leader. Well, we have to come up with something.
Yeah. That's the downside about being a thought leader. They're going to expect thoughts, aren't they?
Well, they're going to expect something. At the very least, they're going to, for their money, they're going to want a T-shirt.
Leave your moral compass at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Let's welcome to the Carl and Mike Show.
Hey!
Where's it the podcast? Where's it the Carl and Mike Report?
Well, there was discussion about whether they're podcasts or it's iRadio the other night.
iRadio, I like
the
that.
iRadio. Podcast is really kind of a throwback to iPods. And is there anybody out there still using an iPod?
Nobody, not that I know
The
of.
same people that use transistor radios, maybe?
Well, that'd be you, pretty much. Dial up.
Yes, that would be me.
So,
Dial up.
welcome to episode, I'm going to say 3, but we still haven't done 1.
No, we'll have to backtrack. We'll do prequels.
Prequels, yes.
We'll do a Star Wars thing. We'll do prequels. We'll go ahead, and then somewhere we'll go back, and we'll get some other people to play the younger Carl and Mike, and
I
they'll
like
come
that.
on. Hi, Carl. This is...
I'm 17 and really horny. Yeah, so I've been thinking. I think I'm going to become a thought leader.
A thought leader?
Yes. This is a phrase I've been... Huh? What's so funny about that?
Nothing. I'm going to have to go, and what is a thought leader?
Well,
And
I don't
what do
know.
you have to do to get qualified? Is there a degree plan?
No, I don't think there is, which is really makes it very attractive as a career path to be a thought leader.
It's a quick ramp up.
It is a quick ramp up. There's the accreditation isn't really. You just say you're a thought leader.
A thought leader?
Because I've been seeing a lot of people are putting that down now. You know, it used to be life coach.
Oh, that's what I was getting ready to ask. Is thought leader and life coach kind of the same?
I don't know.
When did we start needing life coaches?
Pretty much when our lives went to shit.
Is that what it was?
I think that was what it was.
So they're leading you out of the darkness? Out of the shit?
I think so. I don't know. I've never had a life coach. I'm not sure what you would ask, but I like being a thought leader, you see, because who wants to be a thought follower?
Yes.
You know? But then I start to think about that, and really, everybody that follows a religion is a thought follower. Is that not true?
Oh, yes.
So
So does that mean you're going to be a preacher?
Well, kind of. We are kind of preachers here on this. Preaching the word of Michael. Episode 3, segment 2. See?
The gospel according to Mike.
Yeah. And Carl. Carl and Mike. Mm-hmm. So you see? I think we should become thought leaders. You know, I've been looking... I like that phrase. As a copywriter.
If you Google...
As an ex-copywriter.
If you Google...
I like the idea of thought leader.
If you Google thought leader...
Yeah.
Has anybody got it yet?
I don't think so. I think we should grab it.
I think we should grab it now.
Maybe we could be thoughtleader.com.
Thoughtleader.com, rather than be kind of like...
I just got to figure out what thoughts that I'm leading.
I thought .com is for commies.
That's
why
right.
we're .net. No, we're actually .net because somebody, believe it or not, already had carlandmike.com.
That's wrong on every level.
It is. But we like them.
So anyway, here's the thought leadership.
Okay, well, lead me with one of your thoughts. I mean, if you can't just say you're going to be a thought leader without having a thought in your mind.
I gave you
or
thought.
Maybe you can.
I gave you thought follower. That's prime grade thinking right there.
Oh, you mean you jump from thought leader to thought follower, and that's supposed to get me to march lockstep behind you? You know, no, you got to give me some reason. What is the deal here?
I have to give you a thought to follow?
There's got to be fucking something. There's got to be some sort of payoff.
You're complicating it.
Huh?
You're complicating my idea.
No, if I'm a thought follower and I have a religion, I've got some sort of thing at the end of the rainbow here. Well, maybe not rainbow. Well, maybe
okay.
It's rainbow.
Follow your bliss. There. I'm done.
Whoa. I'm in. Do I get
was
a
looking
button?
for you read these kind of self-help things, and they keep saying do something that you're passionate about and that you're good at, and Besides thought leader,
all of the thought. I mean, all of the self-help things are pretty much that same way, right?
Pretty much is that. Follow your passion.
Yeah.
Or follow your bliss, which is Joseph Campbell, obviously, and then do something you like to do. Mm-hmm. And besides thought leader, the only
is that a life coach thing too? Probably is, right?
I think I could use that in a life coach situation.
Yeah.
But for me, the only other thing I could think of besides thought leader was masturbation coach. And
I think it's taken.
A small market, I think, there. I have a lot of passion around that, and I'm good at it if I don't mind saying so myself. I can get that done in 10 seconds or less.
See, but thought leader, you're going to be having people behind you. I don't think you don't want a bunch of masturbators walking behind you.
No, you really don't.
Go, Carl. No. I think life.
You think thought leader better than masturbation coach?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody needs any
Look
coaching.
at what Jane
in
Fonda
that.
did.
Huh? What?
See, I can make a video.
Is she a thought leader?
No, but she did that whole exercise thing. Mm-hmm. Thinking of masturbation coach, first thing I do is create a video. Like Jane Fonda.
We don't need that. I think it's called porn. You're right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Killing my ideas again.
Yeah. No, but thought leader is good. But, I mean, you have to have some sort of central idea, right? Precept? What's the word?
Yeah.
Precept?
You have to have thoughts to be a thought leader.
Ooh.
But I have thoughts.
At this age?
Well, not that many. It comes and goes, but every once in a while.
And a thought would be.
You're putting me on the spot right now to come up with a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing for
thought
you.
leader. Well, we have to come up with something.
Yeah, that's the downside about being a thought leader. They're going to expect thoughts, aren't they?
Well, they're going to expect something. At the very least, they're going to, for their money, they're going to want a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, maybe it's something that it's something that involves. You got to get people intrigued with the idea. Come on, Carl, write some copy.
Okay.
Intrigued with the idea of a thought leader.
Question everything.
Well, I think you should. I think that would definitely be a good thought leader. Is question everything except what the thought leader says.
Yeah.
No, you got to think of that. You got to question that too. Question everything.
Question what the thought leader says.
Yeah.
So then maybe you don't really
need a thought leader.
Follow the thought leader.
Well, no. If you question, well, that's a good question. Do you follow? Well, I don't know the answer.
We got a lot more followers than leaders. It's the problem, you see. Which I guess is you need to have more followers than leaders in life.
Well, being a leader is difficult. It means taking responsibility.
That is the real downside of leadership.
That's a bitch.
Yeah. Oh well. Let me help think.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and you have to think it through.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It gives me a headache. Okay, so there goes a short-lived career of Carl LaFlame, thought leader.
No. I think it needs to be something that's flushed out. I think thought leader. I like the idea. We've got to be something.
It sounds good. Carl and Mike, the thought leaders.
Thought leaders.
Yes.
Who are we? Well, let's ask this. Who's the market that we're leading?
We're sheep.
Sheeple. Sheeple. So our market is sheeple.
Yes.
Anybody?
People easily swayed.
Easily swayed by
simpleton thoughts.
Simpleton thoughts.
A simpleton thought leader.
Simpleton thoughts for sheeple.
There you go.
There you go.
Look at that. A designer coming up with a slogan. You must feel proud.
Somebody's got to do it while the copywriters sleep.
Absolutely.
Thought leader. I like that. So what brought this about, being a thought leader?
I'm going to tell you what brought it about because it's something I'm a little upset about. And I'm upset about this ALS challenge thing. Have you done the ALS challenge?
No, nobody's challenged
See,
me.
that's what I'm upset about.
Oh, nobody has challenged
Nobody's challenged me, and I've seen some friends now. It's gotten to the point where I've seen some friends that I know are less popular than I am that have been challenged and have done it. And then they didn't even ask me to do it.
But see,
so I'm done with the ALS. If I get asked now, I ain't doing it.
Isn't the whole ice bucket challenge kind of over? I mean, it
it's
flared up.
It's now down to friends that are less popular than I am. So I'm done with the ALS.
So it's now going like wildfire through the outer suburbs.
And we've still not been asked.
Maybe when it starts running through the trailer parks and stuff like that, they'll start asking us.
You think?
Well,
So that's why I want to be a thought leader, because we should have been the first to be asked. Well, not the first, but we should have been asked by now. So I think we should start our own
Hillary
thing.
didn't ask us.
Hillary didn't ask? No.
Nobody asked.
No. So I'm thinking maybe start our own thing, like the herpes challenge. What do you think? You go up to a friend and you punch him in the mouth.
No.
I don't know.
No, you got to have herpes challenge. Oh, God.
Well, herpes is something that a lot of people don't talk about, Michael. It's in the shadows.
No, I know.
And then they get that little sore.
Oh, I get those sores.
So you punch him in the mouth.
I get the...
In solidarity with the herpes victims.
No, to be in solidarity, you have to take on the herpes.
No, that's why you punch them in the mouth.
Why?
So then they get a sore on their mouth from being punched.
Oh, no, you get a sore, and I speak from personal experience.
You have herpes?
Yes, I got this.
What?
Huh? Yeah.
Come out of the closet.
Well, no, yeah. Well, no, it's one of those deals that nobody had a girlfriend in high school.
Yeah.
She had a herpes sore. I kissed her. I got it. I've had
Really?
it since then. Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
Absolutely serious. And
You're the first person I've ever met that said they've had herpes.
No. Yeah.
And you're saying it right here on the air.
I'm saying it right here on the air. It's not like I've got an oozing root or anything like that, but it's just a mouth thing, and it's once you get that virus in you, you get it in you, and it comes out when you get, for me, fever, or stress, or sunburn. The worst one I had was right after I got out of school in Los Angeles, and I was getting ready to start dragging my portfolio around trying to find a job, and so to celebrate, I go to the beach on Santa Monica, and I stay out there too long, and I get sunburned, and within a couple of days, I had this wonker herpes sore that went like all the way from my upper lip to just below my nose. I mean, it just kind of like this. It's kind of like you're walking around with a slice of pepperoni on your lip.
Yeah, I can.
It is not a pretty thing, and so basically, you're a shut-in until that goes away. Because people don't want to look at that.
And people don't want to hear about it. So I can see our audience right now just dying here.
Yeah.
In episode 3, you can just see the charts.
I think what it is, there'll be a lot of people that are embrace my openness about this problem. And for God's sake, don't ever kiss anybody who's got one. Tell your kids not to kiss. Huh?
You wouldn't have really known.
Oh,
that the girl?
When you see it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you saw the.
The stuff on. It's not the herpes on the genitals. It's a herpes on.
But you're saying this girl that you kissed, did she have a sore?
Yeah, but I was 17 years old.
You'd kiss anything at that point.
Oh, yes. and nobody had said, hey, oh, by the way, this is herpes, and if you kiss, you're going to get it. I don't even think they understood it that much back then, but nobody gave me a heads up.
Oh.
So
I think the sore on the lip is a heads up.
Huh? Yeah. Well, no,
she must have been very attractive.
But you just if you had a girlfriend and you were 17 and she had a little thing on the corner of her mouth or something like that, would you still go in for a kiss?
I'd like to say no,
but you know damn good and well you would. Yeah, sure.
I'd just make sure I'd move it to the other side. I don't know. You're right. 17, nobody knew about herpes back then. They didn't even talk about it. We didn't really talk about sex in our... Did you ever have the talk? Your parents ever give you the talk?
When I was younger, my parents came in one time. I don't remember how old I was. Probably in elementary school. And they came in with one of those little pamphlets, a little book, and they kind of tossed it.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They gave you a pamphlet?
And said, here, read this. And it wasn't like a Department of Health pamphlet or something. It was just like some sort of kid book, and it kind of talked about it. I really don't remember it. I wish my mom had kept that. I would really like to know that, but that's what I remember is that. And then they came back a little while later and go, you got any questions? And of course, everybody's embarrassed.
Right.
They're embarrassed by doing it. I'm embarrassed by my parents telling me about sex. And at that age, you really didn't know that much. You had inklings about stuff. Because there was either you had big brothers, big sisters, or big neighbors that were older next door to you that were talking about it. So,
yeah,
mostly it was misinformation at that point. So this was not anything graphic, Yeah,
I got to talk in 8th grade with my mom.
Yeah.
During an episode of Marcus Welby. Seriously.
Marcus Welby.
Remember Marcus Welby?
What brought up the talk?
I don't know. There was some pregnancy thing on Marcus Welby, and then I remember she turning to me and she said, have you, done anything with a girl? And, and do you know you got to be careful, tried to give me the talk during Marcus Welby. So that was embarrassing.
Well, it is embarrassing. Then in school, in elementary school, they and this was probably 6th grade, I guess. We were getting ready to go. 6th grade was kind of a weird time because you're anticipating going to junior high, and that was going to be with the big kids. And what they did at our elementary in Dallas is they split us into boy groups, girl groups, and the girls went down to the boys went down and saw the film in the auditorium.
Yeah.
The film. Literally 16 millimeter film.
We didn't get no film. We were Catholic. See, we pretended it didn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't for y'all.
And the priests weren't going to ask us if we had been having sex because they were probably trying to have sex.
With y'all. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then the girls went and had theirs. Of course, the guys, we wanted to know what the girls' thing were about, but the teacher said, y'all are not supposed to talk about it together. Brilliant. So we had one of the girls, we kind of cut one of the girls out of the herd, and she was the one that was already starting to have little breast buds, and we had her write a film report. Because, see, in the last couple of years, we've been learning how to write film reviews and reports.
Right.
We'd watch a film and then write a report about what we saw. And so we just said, okay, well, we'll use that, what we've learned, and get her to write a film report. So she wrote something, and we read it, and we got caught, and everybody got in trouble. But, that was trying to prep you, I guess, for going to junior high. Junior high was such a weird deal for me. I remember going to junior high the first few days of 7th grade, and I'm going, man, everybody grew titties over the summer. It's always all of a sudden the girls have got some sort of boobs. Didn't realize that most of them were socks or Kleenex or whatever.
Are they doing that?
Oh yeah, oh sure. Everybody was going. They wanted it. Now there was a couple of girls that was obvious. It was the real McCoy.
Right.
And
I remember.
So
Tammy
that was
Kowalski.
our point of reference. Who?
Tammy Kowalski. If she's listening, hi Tammy. Tammy was well ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
As we say.
Yeah.
But Tammy kind of, I think Tammy wanted to be a boy.
Yeah.
Kind of
really?
a tomboy. So it was a frustrating period for Tammy, because Tammy would knock you out. You know what I mean?
So
and she had boobs at the same time. So
is it now
was
Tommy?
Probably.
No.
But it was a confusing time for Tammy. I could understand her angst, and she tried to take it out by hitting us.
Yeah. Well, it's because y'all were
attracted
to a certain part of her that she was uncomfortable with, probably because they just popped out over the summer.
I know. So there was a weird dynamic there of having Tammy threaten to knock you out. And couldn't take your eyes off her boobs.
Well, that was just a weird dynamic in general. Even up in Iowa, guys thought about this.
This
sort
was
of thing.
Illinois.
Illinois.
I lived in Chicago.
Oh.
You keep forgetting.
Well, yeah. There you go.
Grew up in the big city, and in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah,
lived in Romeoville, Illinois.
Yeah.
Right next to Joliet.
Romeoville?
I can't make that up. Yes.
No. Romeoville.
Well, we're a little suburb of Joliet.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't there a prison there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so that would be convenient. But it was weird, going through that in junior high. I mean, that whole awakening kind of a thing, and you're going, oh man, the chicks are different. And look at them, they got these, and it was just, and then everybody was kind of whispering about this, and nobody had a clue what was actually going on, but they would come up with their ideas about what sex was and all this kind of stuff. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Now you had children. Did you do the talk with the children?
No, we let them stumble forward.
Really? Way to go.
Oh no, we had.
So you could have been a thought leader there for them. You had the talk with each child.
Or
did you do Did you handle the Perry, the boys, and
no? It just kind of evolved. The way it evolved, it was. We had one of the kids, and I won't mention names to protect the innocent, while we were all sitting around watching TV.
Marcus Welby?
Probably Marcus Welby. It was always
teaching through television.
Yeah. One of the kids asked me a question during a commercial, and he goes, Dad, can I ask you a question? And every time I heard that, I just kind of, my butt would clench tight because I could tell by the tone of the voice it was going to be something uncomfortable. And they said, is a blowjob a blowjob, a sucking thing or a blowing thing? And I said, well, it's pretty much a sucking thing. And they go, okay. And that was it.
Really?
That was the end of the conversation. Now, so, what do you do as a parent when you get asked a question like that? You got to be upfront and honest. What are you going to do? Slap them and send them to their room? You can't do that.
Yeah.
I think,
I
but
agree.
there are a lot
you
of
gave a straight answer.
A straight answer, and I think that's. That's the way we raised our kids, and I think that's not the norm. I think the norm is not that, and so when kids ask you, and they get older, they go, "Well, did you ever smoke weed when you were a kid?" I go, "Sure, yeah."
Yeah. I think the fact that your kid asked you that shows that there was comfortability.
Yeah.
I do not think I would have asked my parents that question.
Well, it's hard to maintain a straight face. It's hard not to get freaked out when questions like that come up. But then what you have when you maintain, at least in our experience has been, when you maintain that sense of openness and honesty. For instance, when another kid came home and we said, well, what did you do last night? And they said, well, went out with some friends and we smoked weed for the first time. And this was during high school.
They told you that, huh?
Yeah. And I said, well, and I said, well, how was it? And they go, well, it was pretty cool. And I go, yeah, it is, isn't it? And they've since, smoked. 2 do, 1 doesn't. And even that is tapered off quite a bit, I think, from what it was. And they have a real good sense about it because they've seen friends go over the deep end.
And so
into the deep end. And we've talked to them about that. I mean, that's where you really got to talk. You got to talk about the dangers of it. And because, honestly, I'd rather have a kid smoking a joint than drinking a 6-pack of beer. Honestly, I would. I'd freak out more about drinking a 6-pack of beer and get slobbering drunk than smoking a joint and getting high. And so you just, it's, I don't know. It's staying honest and open about it.
I think making it not a taboo subject, that nobody talks about. I think when you put it in the closet, so to speak, in the shadows, then it has a higher allure.
Oh, absolutely.
It's more forbidden.
Well, I think it probably also has a higher allure if it's something you think your parents haven't done and you're doing.
Right.
Too.
And that your parents would be really teed off about. It's the danger of that. Mm-hmm. There's excitement of doing something that you get in trouble if you did,
or get caught. Yeah. That's true about a lot of kind of stuff. That's the same thing as having sex in the back seat of a car. There's a certain kind of allure and attraction about something like that as opposed to in a bed. Unless, of course, you're 16. At that point, you really don't give a shit where it is. It's,
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I think there's a lot of things that are that way. It's kind of the... Not
so you're saying, would you say then someone who's, say, got a lot of rules... I'm thinking about people that even when they get into business and they steal or they do things that are illegal. Mm-hmm. It's part of that. That'd be an interesting study to look at.
What, to see if it's part of the allure, the getaway? Oh no, I definitely think it is. I think it's like I'm getting away with something. Nobody else knows. They're stupid. I'm getting away with something. They're not catching me. I think it's absolutely that way. And I think that was that's the way it was with what's his face. And but Yeah, I think there is that kind of allure. But, the other part of it is, and I'm saying that's the way we raise our kids. We also see other people that raise their kids that would never tell them the truth. And we ask them, why don't you tell them the truth? Said, oh, we can't do that. Because they're...
Why?
I have no idea. It makes them real squeamish and uncomfortable. These are people that we used to get high with in college, and we'd go, you didn't tell your kids you smoked? Oh, no, never do that. Or never told your kids you slept with somebody before you got married? Oh, no, never do that. And, then the kids are looking at their parents going, are they lying to me?
Yeah, I think.
Why are they not? So there's that aspect.
Or they're making their parents as an ideal they could never reach, and so therefore there's something wrong with them.
There's that, but then some parents, keep such a tight thumb on their kids that their kids wind up being sheltered and protective and living in their own little bubbles, and continue to do that.
Yeah.
And find safety only in those bubbles, for whatever reason.
Kind of like Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know.
It's the same freaking thing, but
you create little Sean Hannitys, is what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah. I think Sean's parents didn't tell him that they smoked weed when he was
Probably not.
So, and so they find fault with people that do, or that are different.
Right. I think the weed thing is changing, though, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, I think it's changing real fast, and not as fast as the gay marriage thing. You heard about some more states fell.
Oh yeah, who fell?
Oh yeah. Well, I think it was Indiana, and I forget which one, Wisconsin or so. I don't know.
I thought there were a couple that actually upheld it, or
Louisiana, of course.
Did they?
Yeah, of course. It's going to be Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. There will be, probably. But I think, it's getting ready to go to the Supreme Court. And so the Supreme Court, I don't think they cannot overturn it. I don't think they cannot.
You don't think they have the guts? John Roberts just doesn't sees the writing on the wall?
Yeah, I think you're going to, you don't want to be on the wrong side of history on that one. You just don't. And there are going to be certain people that do. And it's like...
yeah, because if they overturned it, so that means all marriages would have to be overturned? Or how would that even work?
All
if
gay
the
marriages...
Supreme Court
I think they would
ruled against gay marriage.
Yeah, I think they would... it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to...
Well, you got pretty conservative court.
Oh, you do have some progressive. Speaking of that Scalia, did you hear these two black inmates that spent 20 or 30 years in prisons for something that they didn't do, and the DNA just recently...
exonerated them.
Exonerated them, and they were released.
Yeah.
A number of years ago, Scalia is on tape saying that these guys should a slow death on death row would not be good enough. I mean, not enough for them. Yeah, or something to that effect. I mean, it's, and I forget where
I
think. Scalia.
What he's
Scalia
saying
said
that these guys that were proven not
deserved
guilty
what they got.
Deserve what they got because why?
Because he said they were guilty, and it turns out that they weren't guilty, but he had gone on, and so
Scalia is semi-insane.
You really want somebody on the Supreme Court that's not like that. You want somebody with an open mind. You want somebody that's not of this party or that party, but somewhere dead in the middle.
Scalia's really messed up. This whole thing of the Constitution is a dead document, and everything. It's kind of fundamentalism at its worst.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about really my religion is evolution, is change, because it's constantly changing.
Yes.
It's constantly expanding.
Yeah.
What we create in the world, our ideas.
Well,
talk about thought leadership.
Yeah, I would think that you would want...
It's constant expanding.
I would think that you would want to have an evolving thought on that. But see, a lot of people don't. And a lot of people are raised in a certain religion and say, this is it, and that's
I think the Constitution is a great document.
Yeah.
I think a really well thought out document. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't evolve from that. You can't I mean, I think the Constitution can be used for whatever way you want to use it. If you want to be fundamentalist, you can do it. And obviously, we've seen different courts that would be considered liberal courts and fundamentalist courts, and they've all gone to the Constitution.
I guess you'd have to say the amendments are all an attempt to evolve the document, right?
Right, exactly.
But now they want to lock in the amendments, don't add any more amendments. Is that the kind of thing?
I don't know.
What's the deal? We can only amend it up until 19 whatever it was, and then beyond that we can't. That's it. It's all the amendments we ever need, although there's somebody much older than us and who are now dead felt the need to amend the document as it went around.
Right.
Like slavery, for instance.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh, that one? Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm for the expansion of thought, for the
women's right
of
probably
thoughts.
was in there somewhere, right?
I think they really talked about women a
women's
lot
right
there.
to vote and something like that. Yeah. No, there's chattel. Why bother, right?
That's true. And yet, they were brilliant men. It's just that parts of society had not evolved.
Yeah.
And society's evolved.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. And, of course, it seems like, as people get older, they go, oh, yeah, back in the day was much better. No, back in the day was worse.
Yeah, back in the day, you had to get up to change the channel on TV. There's no remote control.
Yeah, exactly.
That's back in the day.
Back in the day, this podcast wouldn't exist.
That's right.
So this is evolvement right here. Okay, well, now I might be making the case for the other.
Evolvement and thought leadership.
Yeah, and thought leadership. Yeah. Thank you for bringing the conversation
So
all
the
the way
whole
around.
show is about thought leadership.
And evolving thought leadership.
Involving thought leadership, yeah.
Because the thoughts evolve, Michael. See? It starts as one thought. And look at this conversation so far. We started
We're
at thought
chasing our
leadership.
tails, right?
We went through sex education, herpes challenge. I mean, that's evolvement. That's the kind of thought leadership evolvement that you can expect here. Okay.
I think people should be,
They should be changing the channels by now.
Yeah.
But you don't really have a channel on podcasts. You just have a button.
Yeah, button goes no, yes.
What else are they going to listen to? Well, there's quite a few things, actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there is. I started listening to some podcasts the other day.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought since we're doing a podcast, we should probably listen to them. Don't you think that would be a good idea?
Yeah. If you're going to make a movie, watch some movies. Yes. Well, yeah, no. I think I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah.
Try not to be.
So you're limiting your podcast listening not to be influenced by other podcasters?
Well, that's my excuse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I can go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's thought leadership.
There we have it. Well, I want to talk about a company to switch segments here.
Yeah.
That I read just an amazing story, and I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. A company called Market, I think it's called Market Basket. Have you heard about them? It's a grocery store chain in New England.
Is that the one that was the employees were fighting to get their old guy?
So they got rid of. So there was a The story is on the board was kind of split in the family. It was split. You had, and the guy who was running it, who was really had built this company, and the way he did it was paid the employees really well, and they stayed for decades. And because the employees they had such low employee turnover. They became very, very efficient, and that
while
efficiency
he was still in charge.
Yeah, and that efficiency led them to be really low prices. So they were like 22% lower than Walmart, and yet, 22% lower than Walmart, and yet he paid his people really, really well.
Shame on him.
Shame on him. Yeah. So at some point, the shareholder
we need to replace him.
They did. So the board,
the
other side of the family got a little greedy, and they sacked him. So,
seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
They put one of their own in
Well, they ended up, the board was very closely divided, and then one kind of flipped against him.
Yeah.
And they fired him. So, which, that happens in America. Mm-hmm. The part that doesn't usually happen in America is what happened next, which is the employees, just not the employees went on strike, the customers went on strike.
Ooh.
And they rallied and knocked revenue down 95%.
Folks, this is what we talk about. The power's not in the vote. It's in the wallet. In the
Absolutely.
wallet.
So there they did. They knocked the revenue down 95%. The company was losing $80 million a week. And we're losing supplier contracts, right? Because think about it, 95% drop in revenue. I mean, that's an amazing drop. So customers and employees said, we ain't shopping until you put this guy back in.
Is he back in?
They put him back in. Well, no. What he did even better is the value of the company fell apart, and he was able to buy them at a much better rate than he would have got, in a normal situation. So he bought the other board out basically for like $1 billion or something.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah. I thought that was, first off, I thought that was a fantastic story of, the kind of the anti-Walmart. He beat Walmart at price, and he paid his employees better. And
he's back now.
And he got back
so
because the customers
going to start shopping there again.
Yeah. It's an amazing story, and I think my first question was that's amazing. My second thought was, why doesn't this happen more?
Or this, it seems like this would be a great thing to teach at some of the business schools.
Yeah.
But
and I wonder, did social media play in a role in this? How did they get, and this Market Basket, I don't think they even had a website. I mean, they were like,
I've never even heard of it. Is it just New England?
It's a little New England chain up there.
Is it more like kind of a Whole Foods thing where it's natural stuff, or is it
I think it's a regular grocery store kind of thing.
Stuff?
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an
really
amazing story, and I hope it's a harbinger of things that could come.
Well, okay. There's another company I want to talk about that I really love right now. I'm getting ready to make sure that we don't buy anything from where we are now. It seems like, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country, but around here it's like you find a major intersection. On one corner there's going to be a CVS, and the other corner is a Walgreens.
Right.
And we just go to Walgreens because it's closer, and on the opposite corner is a CVS. Well, CVS this week is now calling themselves CVS Health, not Pharmacy. Totally rebrand. This is really a brilliant rebrand to me. And what's the first thing they do to kick off their rebrand?
Yeah, what's that?
They take all cigarettes off the rack. They're not selling any cigarettes anymore because they are a store that's committed to health. And if it's one thing that's not healthy, it's cigarettes. Now, the next question is, are they going to take it a step further and quit selling soft drinks? Don't know.
I think they're not quite there because my CVS pharmacy
still has them.
No, I was just driving by because I had heard that they got rid of cigarettes, and have this little neon signage they have there, and they were saying beer and wine here. So they're on their way.
They're on their way,
but they're not quite off. They're not off the non-health tit, if you will.
Not yet. But taking cigarettes.
I think that's a great first move.
Is a huge.
I just
move.
don't think at that week of doing that I would advertise beer and wine on the sign.
No.
I would advertise. Get your blood pressure checked here, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it does evolve. I mean, if you could still get food there, because it's going to be kind of like a. That's the thing that's interesting. And I read also a few weeks back that's one of the things that is causing a drop in sales at some of the big box stores. It is that people are shopping at those little pharmacies and getting the stuff that they would normally go to a
cheaper,
Walmart or something like that for. Yeah. Well, even if it's not cheaper, it's convenient, know. And so why drive to one of the big box stores and wrestle with that whole ball of shit, and when you can just go next door and get your Wonder Bread.
Well, and I think you're right. I think CVS Pharmacy, they're going to become CVS Health. That's where they're going.
That's the name of it. It's going to be CVS Health. Got a little heart, CVS, and then Health.
I think it's smart business too. We got the baby boomers are getting older every day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. Why would you, if you're a pharmacy, sell cigarettes?
Well, I'm sure they made some money on it, but I think the press that they get for not, and the goodwill that they get with customers, and propose and new customers for not selling it has got to overwhelm whatever sales, and they'll put something else in there. It's not like that the shelves are going to go blank and they're not going to have anything on it that they're selling. Maybe not as much of a profit margin, although I don't know what the profit margin is on it. And think of the headache that they get rid of, because aren't cigarettes got a lot of taxes on it that you got to pay?
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of accounting to deal with all those taxes, federal, state, whatever, city taxes that they're not going to have anymore too. So
I think it's brilliant. I don't know. I think companies like Market Basket, CVS, they need to get more kudos. We need to identify and promote, because it is. You're right. It's dollars are more important in this society now than votes. I mean, look at Eddie Cantor now. He's a lobbyist, right? I mean, $3 million lobbyist. I mean, money talks, and so that's fine. Money talks. Then let's talk with money, and I think the public needs to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to invite any listeners that we have. We go to our Facebook page or Twitter page at Carl and Mike on Twitter, or Carl and Mike on Facebook, and let us know about a company that's doing something excellent.
Company in your area that's doing something good for its employees or for the general
good
community
of the public.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we need to give them. At the same time, I think we should also talk about companies America hates.
Companies America hates. Oh, okay. Let's have one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about in that Lost podcast episode about Monsanto.
Oh, Monsanto.
And Halliburton. These are companies America hates, and I think the problem with Monsanto is you can't just boycott Monsanto. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They own or they supply too many brands, too many products to be able to go for them. That's why I like, and I'm going to bring back our Kickstarter idea of buying Monsanto.
Oh, that's right. We'll start a Kickstarter campaign.
That's my thought leadership here. Kickstarter campaign.
So what do you think Monsanto. Our target goal is going to need?
$1 billion.
Oh, it's going to take more than $1 billion to buy
$1 billion will buy some stock to be able to, because the only way you're going to go at them is through shareholder.
Oh, okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah, okay. So let's start out with $1 billion, and if we get more, we'll just buy the whole goddamn company.
Yeah, I agree. And then we because Monsanto is affecting everybody eats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're affecting everybody.
Yeah.
On that, and they're in too many of our products and brands to be able to effectively go after them on a boycott. Just not going to work. Boycott isn't going to work. You're going to have to buy them.
Can you get a list? I mean, how it would probably be pretty involved to take a list to find out who all Monsanto's involved in, because the products that they
well, they're pretty much changing.
If you're using Monsanto to grow corn, it could be Del Monte's or Libby's, and all of it's Monsanto. So you're pretty much like hosed.
Yeah, and if you really, I don't know, this kind of Frankenstein agribusiness. This is where the people have to put their money. So I think kickstarting and buying the company is a great idea.
Are you against Frankenstein apples? Those big, beautiful, juicy apples that look fabulous, but have got absolutely no taste to them.
Or nutritional content. Yes.
Or nutritional content.
We are, as a nation, overfed and undernourished.
Yeah.
And so, I think we need to. I think with social media now, there's an opportunities anyway for people to band together and make some changes.
You know what this is sounding like?
What?
Thought leadership.
This is thought leadership, damn it. What kind of thought leadership you're going to get? I don't want to do anything. I want to put out the thought. Do I have to follow that up with action?
No, it's up for them to.
That's right.
American, if you want
to take back Monsanto,
yes,
let's do the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
let's pony up $1 billion. That's about $3 a person, I figured. Yeah. And we own Monsanto, and then we do it. We'll hire the people that are going to do it the right way.
Yes.
We're going to make the world a better place.
We'll fill up the board with Amish people. Huh?
What
do you think?
Well, farmers. How about filling up the Monsanto board with farmers?
And Willie Nelson.
Got to have Willie Nelson.
Aid. Yeah, he's an honorary kind of a thing. That would be good. Yeah.
I think we'll have no trouble getting good people to take over the Monsanto board.
Mm-hmm.
And as the people being the biggest shareholder of Monsanto, I think people...
So that once we take over the board, can we direct the Monsanto's money in an area that we want to? Yeah. In other words, we're not growing these Frankenstein corn.
Exactly.
We can ship a bunch of that money to, say, I don't know, Colorado and Washington to grow maybe some
other crops.
Other crops.
Well, sure, we could do that. And who wouldn't want a little bit of Monsanto, Massachusetts weed? You know what I'm saying? But no, I think we will bring in people that will right the ship and do things the right way. That's the way to do it. And I'm sticking with that.
Sure.
You going on vacation?
Going on vacation? Yeah. No, we're going to Los Angeles to see our son out there. Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do in L.A.?
We're going to... there's a great place in Pasadena called the Gamble House. And it's an old house that was built like in the turn of the 1900s. And it's still really in great shape. It's a big example. It's a good example of arts and crafts style housing. And it was in the movie Back to the Future. That was the movie in the garage that they built in DeLorean.
Oh, yeah,
that was their garage, and it's an incredible building, and it's right there above the Rose Bowl. It's got a great view in that valley, and they do tours of it. But the part of it that's cool is that it's beautifully made. That's when people were craftsmen about shit. And you walk into a house like that. Sure, it's an expensive house, but you could walk into a house that's just as big in North Dallas or Chicago or Los Angeles or anywhere and not see that level of craftsmanship. It's just phenomenal. So we're going to go do that, and then we're going to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of hang out. It's pretty calm.
Cool.
Eat some good food, Vietnamese food, visit some friends out there. So it's going to be good. It's a good vacation. So, yeah.
I love it. So,
yeah. So that's, just going back to where we spent, we spent those 3 years out there before we had kids, when we were young and stupid.
That's right.
Yeah.
You lived there.
Yeah.
So back to the old stomping ground.
Yeah, from 77 to 80. That's kind of when there was a lot of funky stuff going on. Madame Wong's was downtown, and you'd see these posters stapled up all over town on the telephone poles about different bands that were there. I want to say the B-52s played there. That was when they were getting started, so it was very cool.
I love the B-52s.
Yeah.
They were such a strange entrance into the music scene.
See, I don't know. Have you heard that they don't tour anymore or anything? Or they're probably not doing anything. They're just, sitting on the beach.
Probably. I don't know,
Or they got a ranch in Idaho, or,
The 80s were such an interesting time musically, with the big electronic bands and the hair bands.
Yeah. When? The 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember much about music then. It was
you
not...
You had the Berlins, you had the Duran Durans, and the...
Yeah.
It was a weird time, the 80s.
Yeah.
It was like... the 80s, to me, I remember... Even culturally, musically, we're trying to be into the future.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of coming off a 60s, 70s high into this vision of what the future was going to be like. Devo.
Yeah.
Right. And it was, it was working really hard to be futuristic and avant-garde. And now it looks just
there's
strange.
There was another group. I want to say they were
Berlin.
German or something that did some
Berlin?
Stuff. Huh?
Riding on the metro.
Yeah.
Berlin.
No, I don't know. But, I didn't... the thing is, I have kind of a theory, and I don't know if this is right. I think most people... There's a time when they really are intense listening to music. I think high school and college.
Yeah.
And then after that, they stop.
I think into the 20s.
And those are the records they ride forward with, or the album CDs, whatever.
Sure, because it's your most intense time.
It's your most intense time, and you don't really. You still listen to some stuff, and you may buy it here and there, but not to the degree that you did when you were younger. And so you still are drawn back to that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It writes those tapes and or discs.
I remember
or diskettes.
When I came out of college, I had. 2 lawn chairs, a little table, and $3,000 worth of music equipment.
Yeah.
Stereo.
And albums.
And
boxes
and
of albums.
Peach crates of albums.
Oh, peach crates. Oh,
peach crates.
Love
peach
peaches.
Crates?
Oh yeah, Peaches were great, and
I did. I had $3,000 worth of stereo and $40 worth of rest of the furniture in the house.
But you did have some place to sit.
I did.
Yeah.
The lawn chair.
Yeah, that was. I think a lot of people were that way. I was that way too.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about
all
that.
my money went into music, and music was really important.
Yeah,
because it spoke, Michael.
Yeah.
They were thought leaders.
They were thought leaders
through their lyrics.
Yeah.
I remember Pink Floyd, "The Wall" came out. I mean, passing the bong, listening to "The Wall."
Yeah.
In 1979 was it? I mean, that was some serious. And Teacher,
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
Oh yeah.
There was some serious messaging in there.
There was, and there was messages to be. They were thought leaders, yes.
And I think college. One of the big things for me in college was, you get thrown in a dorm, and with different guys had different music they liked. I got turned on to Todd Rundgren. I never heard of Todd Rundgren in my life. Supertramp. Never heard of Supertramp in my life until college. So there was all this. That was the thing.
Your college was about 10 years later than my college, right?
Yeah. What were you doing? Raspberries?
No, raspberries. No. I went in. My first roommate, Bill Lusinger. He was into Dylan like nobody I've ever seen. I mean, he had not only all of Dylan's, and this was in '71 when we went. He had all of Dylan's albums up to then, but he had a shitload of bootlegs. And bootleg albums back then were just white sleeves with albums in it that kind of had a label on it, and that's about it. But this is stuff that was never, ever released. And he had some really cool stuff like that. So that kind of got me going. And then we had a common thing with Joni Mitchell, and we went forward with that. But, there was a lot of... I know what you're talking about. I had a guy that came in, and he was more into John Lennon, who had broken out on his own at that point. It had been for a while. And he was listening to that and some guys across the hall. That's when ZZ Top was starting to kick off, And so, that was a very, very cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I remember, it's interesting that the things you remember. I remember the day I first heard the Police. Mm-hmm. A friend said, "You got to hear this band." I called the Policeman the greatest thing ever. And, I went over to his dorm room and smoked some weed and listened to Police and Roxanne. And I remember that day. It was like there was this discovery. You discover music.
Well, and that's the way the music was released and the way it was released to the people and everything like that. And another song that I remember like that was Black Dog. Led Zeppelin's, I forget which album, it was the second, third, fourth, whatever album it was. But I remember when Black Dog came out, I think I was in college, and this girl came out and said, "I just got the new album. You got to listen to this song." And I listened to it, and I just, it's kind of one of those things that fucking gives you chills because it's something you have a certain expectation of what Zeppelin's going to do because of what you've heard in the past, and then when it matches it or exceeds it, holy shit, this is it.
Right.
Light one up,
Right.
And so that was a very cool time music during college. It was real cool. It's like you said that people having different stuff and sharing that, and there was
the thing you wanted to turn your friends on.
You did. You wanted to turn your friends on to music. And I don't know if that happens. It probably still does.
Probably
Maybe
does, I think.
Probably does, but it's different. And speaking of turning your friends on to something, I had locked in to what I had been listening to, and I'd moved back. We'd moved back to gone to Los Angeles, moved back, and I'd had my own business, and I had a guy that worked for me for a while, a guy named Michael, and he introduced me to Talking Heads, and I had never ever listened to any of that, and I was going, holy shit. And then because he was listening to Talking Heads, Thievery Corporation, REM, a lot of other stuff that I had never even listened to, and Talking Heads begat Brian Eno and all of Brian Eno's kind of stuff, and so it was with that one group just kind of branching off again, and that was just way cool. And what's still to this day one of my favorite albums. Two of them are "Remain in Light" and "My Life in the Bush of Ghosts."
Yeah, I remember in the dorms a guy named Craig Butel who had really killer stereo equipment. and he was like in a Steely Dan. Like, I had never heard of Steely Dan, right?
Yeah.
And listening to Steely Dan on this really kick-ass stereo equipment, it was a treat.
Stereo was high, and everybody that listened was high. Yes,
and the music was crisp.
Oh yeah,
you know, and I'd pretty much until college.
Yeah,
I didn't have any stereo stuff, so everything I listened to musically, and I listened to a lot of music, but it was through AM, radio.
Yeah.
And I remember I had an 8-track.
Mm-hmm.
I had an 8-track. we were
what, in your car? In your car?
No, Michael, in my bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah. I had an 8-track player, so I was listening to music through the 8-track player.
Yeah.
And I go to college, and not only weed, but $3,000 stereo systems.
Oh yeah.
And new music.
Oh,
it was incredible. I remember listening to Genesis, Seconds Out, Genesis Live.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
See, I never listened to them much, but I just.
Oh man.
But
with a black light.
Yeah.
And a joint being passed around at about midnight, listening to Genesis.
Did you ever sync
live, Seconds Out,
Dark Side of the Moon up with Wizard of Oz? Did you
ever?
Oh,
I saw a clip online about that.
Oh shit! It's another one of those things that it's preferable if you're high.
Yes.
But it does. It's weird the way it tracks. It's weird the way it tracks. Now,
first off, the album is shorter than the movie, so it can't track that well.
Well, at that point, you're asleep.
All right, so you're saying...
the weed and the brownies have taken their effect. You nod off.
So
you go, that was cruel. Yeah, but
you don't get to the end of the album, is what you're saying, before you kind of trace.
Well, I've never watched it that far, but as you watch it and you get into it, it just seems to do that. And I don't know if it's something that you're anticipating. I'm sure they didn't get together and do it that way, or they may have. I don't know. I've never heard one way or the other. I don't think they had, but it could be that you're just anticipating it to have a change when the evil witch comes in, or the
and it does.
Glenda the Good. Oh yeah. And it's
I wonder if you could take Dark Side and put it up against any movie.
That would be a test. That would be a test.
No, I have heard of that. I think I saw a clip.
I'm sure there's a YouTube thing somewhere that somebody's done that.
We'll go get the link.
Get the link. Yeah. Oh, that would be a good.
We should talk about we have a Facebook page.
Yes, we have a Facebook page, and we're going to populate it with fabulous links such as the one we're just talking about.
And then there's our blog.
Yeah.
carlandmike.net.
Yes.
Which we'll put our links about that today. It's kind of weird. We've been talking for 7 years, and now we got to think, there's someone else listening besides us. So
that's true.
We have to remember to say the website.
It was always us. No, so I
agree. I think the music...
The Facebook site belongs to the listeners, right?
Right.
It's y'all post, we'll post, we'll put links on. It's for just go there. So it's for y'all.
The idea is that we'll take links to stuff we talked about in the podcast, which we're not really scripted here.
Yeah.
And then we'll link it up to the real facts, because we just make shit up as we go along.
Yeah.
We'll put the real links to the real data.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if Market Basket's the right name. I think it is the right name in the grocery store, but we'll find out.
Yes.
Yeah, so I agree. I think musically it happens. And then you could argue, and we should talk about this, pussification could come into play here.
What's that?
For the decline in the music interest as you get older and married.
I think it could be, but like you were saying, when you get a roommate, because you're getting married, you're getting a roommate. And the thing that was great about when Nita and I got married, she was totally into R&B.
Was she?
Oh yeah, Detroit. She was into Detroit, Philadelphia sound, stuff like that. So all of her albums, for the most part, were that. And I had a lot of the rock stuff and the typical Beatles and all Stones and all that kind of Zeppelin. And then, and this is almost embarrassing to say, there was a crossover. You know what the crossover was? Where I had some albums, she had some.
What was that?
Barbra Streisand.
Really? Yeah. You had Barbra Streisand albums?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had some Streisand albums in college, and I would play them. Now, this is in a guy's dorm.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that people were,
They didn't go over well.
No. And that's where I started singing to Barbra Streisand in a falsetto voice.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It was embarrassing, but,
Oh. Everybody has
I was probably high.
What's the word? The Piccadilly, is that the right word? The interesting... I remember I had
Piccadillos, Piccadillies.
I had like 9 8-track tapes, right? Because I was big on Columbia House. Remember Columbia House?
Oh yeah.
You had 12 tapes.
You were doing it.
For
You were
a penny or something.
Yeah. And then
they
we'd lock
move.
you in.
Yeah, but we'd move and
they couldn't find you.
You couldn't find me again. So, it was not pretty.
Yeah.
But you get those 12, man. You get those 12.
Yeah, I did that, I think, once or something.
But when you're going through the list there, it starts to run out.
Yeah, you kind of go.
I didn't understand most of them.
Yeah.
I remember one thing that I was really into, probably the only white kid in Romeoville, and then it switched to West Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
They liked Barry White.
Oh, Barry White. Love Barry
White. I love Barry White.
Yeah.
And
See, Nita had a lot of that. She had Al Green and
Al Green.
Nancy Wilson, a bunch
Green
of
is
old,
a god.
Yeah, Supreme stuff like that. So that was kind of a nice mesh. And then when we lived out, and that was, we got married in '77, and 6 months later, I got fired from probably the last job I got fired from, if you don't include clients that have fired me. And we moved out there, and we listened to this radio station that was out of Compton. It was KJLH in Los Angeles, and that was the call letters, and it was called Kindness, Joy, Love, and Happiness, KJLH, Compton. Oh, it was fucking awesome music because it was real upbeat, and a lot of it was kind of, I want to say, it's not controversial, but it was, of the moment. It kind of spoke to the community, but it was one of those kind of
Compton,
things.
California.
Yeah, Compton, California, which is not an area, that's
it's not.
It's a tough area, and I think even today is a tough area. I think KJLH is still there, but when we were there, we listened to that, and there was a jazz channel that we listened to. But a lot of that time, it was also the let's see, what was the is Wyndham Hill. Did you ever listen to any of that?
Yeah.
What was that called? There was
New
kind
Age.
of New Age music.
Instrumental.
Yeah, instrumental. So we were listening to that. But
yeah, I had my Wyndham Hill phase.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody had a Wyndham Hill phase. I think then for me it kind of died for a while. But iTunes when iTunes came out and the iPod came out, it really I discovered a lot more going into iTunes to get some of the stuff that you used to listen to. You'd find other stuff. I do love that about iTunes. And then I found, I bought a ton of music back in the iPod day. But then really when the phone came out and nowadays
Spotify.
I don't buy music.
You just use Spotify? See,
I don't even do Spotify at the moment.
Yeah, Perry does
now.
Spotify. Evidently, it's a minimal monthly thing. And
it's $10 a month and you get all the music
everything.
you want. Right.
I
haven't bought into the rent model because if you stop paying the $10, you got nothing.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing about it. But it seems like it's moving. It seems like music is moving into like a utility. Like you have electricity, you have cable, and you have music.
And that's really kind of an unfortunate thing for. But that's what the internet is. That information is a utility. That means all newspapers and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff is basically a utility.
It really is.
With the internet,
we are in an information age, and I think it does become. You're right. I mean, you don't pay every month for the internet; it gets turned up. Well, you can go free some places, but you're right. And so, like, it's kind of weird. My buying, I stopped buying music for a long time.
Yeah.
Like mid '90s till the iPod came out. Then I bought a ton of music, and then nowadays with iTunes radio and it seems to moving in this kind of Spotify model, then I'm not buying any music.
Yeah.
So it's a weird how that works. I go through phases where I'm either buying a lot of music or not buying any, depending on what happens technology-wise at this point.
Well, I want to talk about the radio thing some more, though, at some time. Yeah, I mean, because that's the part that I miss, are the radio stations.
What radio stations?
Exactly. It's all Clear Channel now. I remember, I don't know if you did, but in Iowa, could you get Coma out at Oklahoma City at night?
Yeah.
Do you remember Coma? Huh? No, seriously. Huh? Yeah, and we could.
He's a drummer.
Are you a drummer too? No way.
We're here with David Davis.
Yeah.
Our staff photographer. Do we have a staff?
Wait, it's a virtual staff.
Staff.
You remember Coma? We lived in New Mexico. Here, sit down. We lived in New Mexico, and after about 10 o'clock, we lived in this little town in New Mexico, and the radio stations were not that great. In fact, on Saturday, the only radio station that carried rock music turned over. It was Navajo all day. I mean, seriously, all Navajo all day.
Navajo music?
No, well, Navajo music, but also Navajo talk. You know.
So there's a Navajo talk.
Yeah, it was close to the reservation. But at 10 o'clock, we would get Coma. And everybody looked forward to that because it was like a connection to the outside world. Do you get that? Did you grow up in a small town, too?
See,
no?
We lived in civilization here in the big city called Chicago.
Yeah.
We had all
WLS.
Yeah, you did
Chicago.
Sometimes at the middle of the night.
I think you could.
Oh, down here? Oh, that's right. And there was stuff coming across the border from Mexico, too. That's Wolfman. Wolfman Jack.
XCRF.
Where's that?
Mercy, baby, there's a Wolfman coming to you.
Yeah, the Wolfman. You remember Wolfman Jack?
Yeah, I remember Wolfman Jack.
And
Midnight.
And so I miss that about radio. Radio's not that anymore. It's just kind of Monday.
I think those
the same
stations
kinda,
have the signals that can go.
Well, they probably do, but I don't think they're not programming music. I don't think the way they did it. I don't know if they have the personalities that they have. Right? No,
it's all podcasting now, Michael.
Huh?
It's all podcasting.
Fucking podcasting.
Damn podcasters ruin everything.
Yeah.
I think with that we'll end it.
Yeah, we'll end it now. Gotta go. Bye.
Bye.